I think that we can all agree that there are just some things you can't be prepared for until you're in your own classroom, responsible for your own group of students. But we can certainly try, right? I think that rather than operating in a silo, teacher preparation programs really need to partner with K-12 settings in very authentic ways to prepare teacher candidates to just walk right into the workforce in a very seamless way. I believe there are three things teacher education programs need to integrate in order to really prepare teacher candidates for the rigors of teaching. And I believe we're doing all three of those things here at Roberts, so let's dig into them. Let's think about current classrooms. What are big things that teachers deal with on a daily basis? I'd say we'd start with the standards. Probably sounds familiar. If you're a teacher, you hear start with the standards all the time, right? If you're not a teacher, you probably have heard about standards out in the media, whether good or bad, you've heard about them, right? Well, standards are much more rigorous and ever evolving, but they should be. As society changes, we need to change our standards for our students. Right now, literacy standards are at the heart of what every teacher does. It doesn't matter grade level, content area, everyone has fully embraced, hopefully, the literacy standards. Well, then those same literacy standards should be found throughout the coursework in any teacher preparation program. So one of the best ways we've equipped our teacher candidates is not only do we integrate the literacy standards, but we teach them why we have these standards. We teach them about the background of the standards, the call for the current focus on literacy, the drive behind the standards movement right now. We can't expect teacher candidates to be advocates for students and for quality teaching if they don't really understand all of those things. I think we've begun to do this well in our coursework. Students have plenty of opportunities to work with those literacy standards throughout all of their courses. But actually, as we begun to make this movement and we dug a little bit deeper, we noticed that teacher candidates seeking childhood certification were struggling to teach math. Well, why wouldn't they? When were they learning about the math standards, right? We wouldn't go to a third grade teacher and say, here, teach this third grade math, but I'm not going to train you on the third grade standards. But we can't do the same to our teacher candidates either. So we noticed this and we shifted. I actually took the entire content of a full course and shifted it from the literacy standards to the math standards for that purpose. What I think is key, though, is when I'm teaching students about the standards, I use materials from the state education department, materials used in professional development sessions with teachers right now. Wouldn't I want our teacher candidates to be familiar with the content, the vocabulary, the materials that teachers are doing right now so they could literally walk into a building and be confident? So teacher candidates can very easily learn a textbook definition of differentiated instruction or universal design for learning. I see teachers smirking. But planning lessons for hypothetical classes doesn't really get at that level of being able to take a whole classroom full of students with a wide variety of needs and planning lessons that address all of those needs. I can tell you firsthand, nothing prepared me for that. My first year of teaching, I struggled daily to plan instruction, grade level instruction, for students who are reading on 4 to 5 different grade levels. That's very challenging. So how can we bridge that gap? Well, we can give our teacher candidates access to real students, right? That's what real teachers do every day. One of my most favorite course assignments is I give my teacher candidates a stack of math exit tickets from a real third grade classroom. And they have to go through it, analyze it, make some instructional decisions, and then create an action plan. Usually our teacher candidates love it because they love looking at real student work with their little quirks in their handwriting. But I like to take it one step further. I then take my teacher candidates to that third grade classroom, and they actually get to practice teaching one of those lessons to real kids. There is nothing better than teaching to children. I mean, teaching to your peers in a college classroom, it's good practice, but kind of not the same as a third grader looking at you like, what are you talking about? Again, it's the work that real teachers do on a daily basis, so why wouldn't we do that with our pre-service teachers, right? I'd say management is a biggie, and that's kind of all-encompassing. behavior management, time management, managing responsibilities, managing many district and school initiatives. I mean, I could probably go on and on here. But these are the kinds of things that you really can't learn in a college classroom. They really need to be learned on the ground in real time. So why can't we move the college classroom to a K-12 setting? If we did that, then our teacher candidates are going to see all of those management needs being addressed in real time. That's the thinking behind our moving our secondary methods course to Greece Athena High School. I teach it on site at Athena, so our teacher candidates learn not only from me, but from the principal and from the teachers working with those students every single day. It's just so authentic. Our teacher candidates learn using district materials. They learn current trends in professional development because they attend all of those sessions with their master teacher, and they get to practice. What teacher candidates usually get to do is engage in these really rich experiences while student teaching. But why would we save all that rich experience just for the last 14 weeks of a program? They should be engaged in those rich experiences throughout their whole 4 years of a program. I have to say, we usually get really good feedback from our teacher candidates who take this course because they feel so confident. They actually get to spend a whole year with that master teacher. So the course happens in the fall, and then ideally they student teach in the spring with that same master teacher. So confidence is sky high. They already know their master teacher and their teaching style. They know the students and their wide variety of needs. They know the district curricular materials because they had a ton of assignments they had to do for me using those materials. They know current trends or current initiatives around professional development because they sit through it. Planning lessons for hypothetical classes of students or imaginary students, or teaching about learning and teaching in a silo. I mean, that's not how other professions prepare novices, right? Could you imagine if med school, they only worked on like simulations before going and working with real patients? Unsupervised? Yikes. Why would we do that to children? So these shifts we've made and are continuing to make are truly impacting our teacher candidates. I can't tell you how impressed I am with how different our student teachers are. They walk into student teaching with a level of confidence that I hadn't really seen before. They engage in student teaching way earlier, meaning they don't wait a few weeks to just observe. They actually are teaching lessons in their first week of their placement. Plus, they're able to talk with district administrators and teachers in a really current and informed way. And what that does actually is make local administrators keep their eyes on our teacher candidates. So when positions open up, they tap us to say, hey, I'm looking for a so-and-so. Just like you wouldn't throw a 3-year-old into water and say, here you go, learn how to swim. We really can't throw a newly graduated teacher into their first classroom and expect them to be highly effective. So again, these 3 things: training teacher candidates like teachers, giving teacher candidates access to students, and moving the college classroom into K-12 settings. Those are the 3 best things we can possibly do to set our teacher candidates up to seamlessly walk into the workforce and positively impact children. Thank you.